Hey everyone, Noah from NYPCIT. Just wanted to make a quick video about AI. So AI is a big buzzword going around right now, and some people really don't know what it is, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with not knowing what it is, but I would like to educate just a little bit about what it is and is it safe? What's it for? How can it be used? Right? I think these are the main questions around it. So, for instance, today someone asked someone else, what is AI? So let's jump right into that. We're going to be using a type of AI that is called ChatGPT, right? So AI stands for artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence refers to the development of computer systems and programs that can perform and take over tasks that normally a human can. So anything from a visual perception to a speech recognition, decision making, language translation. And AI involves a very complicated code algorithm in the background, and this algorithm allows it to do what's called machine learning and self-improve with the large amount of data that people are inputting into it. It's going to, in a nutshell, get better and smarter over time. So is AI safe? I think that's a very open-ended question. ChatGPT, in my opinion, would say that it is safe. I've done research on ChatGPT, and they comply by AI regulations. And I do know that Elon Musk had something to do with AI regulations. So I'm kind of going based off of, Elon Musk put a regulation together. I trust that he is a good person and that he's making some, that he made good choices, right? And so I'm hoping that ChatGPT is making good choices based on the regulations that are in place right now. So that's not to say that AI it couldn't be used for bad, because it absolutely can, and it already is, right? So ChatGPT cannot be used necessarily for bad, because if you ask it something mean or malicious, or to try and say hack someone, it's just not going to do it. It's going to flat out tell you no, this is not something I can do. And it's not necessarily because it can't do it, right? But because the programmers who designed ChatGPT, they have a soul. They have core values. And they want to make sure, in my opinion, that this technology is used for good and improvements and saving time and growing your business and just helping you solve things. These are ways that I have been incorporating it into my daily life and into my business. Now, a lot of people, they want to know, well, how can I use it? I'm going to give you a quick example of how I personally use it, okay? So the other day, I was doing something on my website. I am not a code junkie. I'm not fluent in HTML. So if there's something that needs a little bit of manual code work, I need to research it to learn the commands and how to make it work. Now with ChatGPT, I can just give it parameters. So what I mean by that is I want it to be able on my website to hide a button if it was in a certain environment and show a button if it was in a different environment. So if you go directly to my website, it won't show this button, but if you go to a web page that's a funnel through my CRM, that it will show you this back button. Now this is something that would typically probably take me an hour to go online, figure it out. I could ask my web developer, who's a genius, but I don't like to take up his time for, something, a personal task. for me. And now that I have, ChatGPT in the palm of my fingertips, I can come in here and ask it for help, and no questions asked. It gets done. So this is one way that I've used it. Now, I also used it to help me create a little Facebook ad the other day. So my brain doesn't necessarily work the best when trying to get words out on paper. So in my head, it all happens quite quickly, but then when I go to put it on paper, it doesn't. And so what I find myself and what I've always done is I have had either a friend who's really good at English, or copywriter, just someone, right, who looks for proofs and verbiage issues, stuff like that. Now ChatGPT can do it in like a click of a button, right? So what I did, I said, hey, I want to put a Facebook ad campaign together called The Closer Look. Here's a little deal, and it spit out this whole description of what I should do for the ad. Now, I didn't want all that. So all I did was say, hey, can you spell check this? I took some info out of it. I made it a little bit different on the actual ad. I didn't use majority of what was here. I just needed some tagline ideas and something to catch the attention of someone. And this just it gave me ideas. And it spell checked it for me. And for me, it's absolutely, it's fabulous. It's right here in the palm of your finger. It saves me time. It saves me from getting frustrated. Because for me, when, in my head, I'm able to compile and process and see something, literally see it on a blank page. But when I go to write it down, it's not happening the way that my brain sees it. So another item that I really like to do is, like, hey, help with proposal. I asked it for just like, items to add my website about me or different stuff like that. I have asked it how to build a business plan. I have asked it how to build a contract. So I have a buddy who was interested in building a little contract, possibly for his mobile detail business. And so I was like, let me try and help you out, shoot some ideas. Now, obviously, this is not going to hold up in court, or right. I wouldn't trust it, right, to go start having customers sign it. But it is a really, really good starting point to build off of, right? So, in my opinion, AI is not going to replace me, Noah, right? It's just a tool to help me, right? So, what I did was I said, hey, I want to create a 12-month contract for a mobile detail business. And, like, it took it 2-3 seconds, and it goes up, and it spits this thing out. And you could come on here and you read it, and you go, oh, okay, I like it, I don't like it. I wanted to add a little term in there, so I kind of redid it, and I put a little term in there. Now I wanted to make, termination with a written notice, and I added that. So these are parameters that I am giving it. I had to give it parameters and food for thought to get what my mind envisioned. Does that make sense? It can really be used as an extension of you and your business, or what you are trying to achieve. So let me just show you a couple of items, right? So if you were to come here and on my website and schedule a consultation, what this does, the first, last, phone, email, organization, right, these little settings, and you hit send message. What this will do is send my CRM a notification that says, hey, a lead came in from the website, they're interested in managed IT services. This is the name, the phone number, the email, the company, the address. And now the CRM will send an email to that lead, right? And the email in it, it says, just a welcome, and go ahead, we can schedule a consultation. Here's the calendar, right? And if that email is not open within 1 hour, though, my CRM will take a totally different decision. And what will happen is AI, which is built into my CRM, will actually text that customer and try to set an appointment, right? And if an appointment gets set up, then great. The customer will get their notification, I'll get my notification, and it's done deal. But I went a step further and I said, if no appointment was set up within 24 hours, then go ahead and AI try again, right? So if the customer doesn't follow up in 24 hours, the AI is going to try again. So what happens is the CRM sends a text message, and it's just, I try and be time conscientious, and it says, if you're interested, please let me know, yes or no. And if you reply with a text message that has yes in it, the AI will text you and try and set an appointment again within a 24-hour period. Now, 24 hours goes by again. That client did not schedule anything. I set my CRM up to now shoot a text message to my cell phone with all of the lead's information, and it says that it's been 2 days or 3 days. This lead has not scheduled an appointment. Go ahead and call them. And so at that point, the technology has done its due diligence, and I need to do some human-to-human interaction. Maybe figure out, like, hey, what's going on? I saw you, you signed up for the consultation, just want to get an idea of where you're at, right? So that's one way that I'm using it in my business, which is kind of neat. Now, another way that I'm going to show you real quick is one of our security programs that we use. It's called Bitdefender, and we've had this security program for years now, and they have used AI related items for multiple years with something that's called EDR. It stands for Endpoint Detection and Response. Now I'm just going to show you real quick when I get in here. So EDR, what it does is it collects bits and pieces of information from computers, and it will make a decision based on the best action that's been programmed into AI. So these have all been done, but I'm going to come in here. So this is our security program, and this is the AI. So what it does on this computer here, it recognized they had gone to a website and it was a bad URL, even though the URL wasn't flagged by the standard security part. The AI was able to do an analysis on it, and based on the analysis, it blocked access to that, right? So typically the way that an antivirus works is that if it's a brand new threat that has never been seen, a basic antivirus it will get through. And the reason for that is because when a threat, the software doesn't know what it is, it's not going to be able to block it. That's your typical antivirus, right? So if a bad virus, if a new virus comes in, you click on a file or you go to a bad website and you do something gets in your machine, and you only have a very basic antivirus software on your computer, there's a very good chance that it's not going to be able to detect the new type of threat that's hitting the machine. And that's where something like this EDR and the AI built in can really come into play. And it really shows its strength. Now, in the future, something that I'm really excited about, right now Microsoft, they launched it, but it's only for large enterprise companies, their version of AI. And I'm very excited for this because, one, I'm a Microsoft shop. I use Outlook and Word and Excel pretty much on a daily basis, and they're going to integrate something very similar to ChatGPT into Outlook and Word and Excel. So an example of that, right? Like, let's say we're making a new email, right? Say I'm in here and I'm typing and going on, and like I was saying before, I see things in my mind really well, with a message and how I think it should flow and go, but then when I go to put it down, it doesn't always happen. And so AI would actually show up on the side of the screen, right? And you can say, hey, I need help writing an email. This is what it's about. Here's the topic. Here's the subject. Blah, 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 right? And the AI will try and write something out. And if you don't like it, if it's too long, you could say, hey, make it shorter. If it's too short, you could say, I'll make it mid-size. All right? So as we start integrating AI into things that we do for daily tasks, it will definitely start to save time, improve workflow, and simplify tasks that, quite honestly, we might not want to be spending too long on doing. So just to close things up, my focus with AI going forward is to, one, get ahead of the curve. I really want to get ahead of the curve, and I mean that both business, with business and with personal. And I mean, so with personal, for instance, my cell phone, if we can get a really great AI built into our cell phone, it can, create full text messages, like good text messages, right? Auto correct will finally work the way that I want it. Spell correct will finally start working the way that you want it. You'd be able to, talk to your phone and go say, hey, can you open an email and send it to this person? And here's the subject. I want it to be about that. Can you give me some ideas? And in your phone, they'll go, here's, a couple ideas. Which one do you like? And you can just quickly choose the idea for the email. And then, bloop, it goes off. And you were able to save more time. Now, a big one for me with work is cybersecurity. So like I said, we've already had AI in our cybersecurity stack for a while. It's getting better. It's improving. We're in it every day. But the thing that I'm seeing long term is what's progressing really quick, I feel, right now, is the bad guys using it. So let's just imagine if a bad guy has a version of ChatGPT that you can put into it someone's, an email address, their, company address, some social media, handles, maybe some IP addresses, right? Things like that. Just a few simple parameters. These are items that typically you could find out in some very easy ways with a little bit of know-how on Google. And when you get these parameters, you plug it into this hacking tool, and this AI is gonna scrape the dark web for any stolen information having to do with that business. Maybe it finds passwords having to do with that company. that were stolen in the past and now they're on the dark web, right? The AI will take those passwords, find the email server, start, blasting their email server with a brute force attack, and more than likely it will get in. So whether the password which it found is right or wrong, there's a very good chance that it will get in. Why? The reason for that is many businesses and many individuals are not spending time and money on cybersecurity, and they're not properly securing their accounts. And with AI on the run, if you don't have these basic standards done, AI is going to destroy you. Because you can give it these simple parameters, and with a touch of a button, a supercomputer, not a supercomputer, but right, let's call it a very automated way, right? Technically it is. It's like a super brain, right? A super brain within a click of a button can, boom, start doing all of these automated attacks on you and your business. And say something as simple as not having like two-factor authentication on, where it sends a text to your phone or a notification to your phone or an email, or goes into an authentication app, something like Keeper, which is the program that I really like, right? So things like that, it will be able to get past, because if you have a weak password, say it's like an 8-character password, this thing's just going to keep trying until it gets into your account. And when it does, there's nothing behind it as a secondary barrier stopping it, which is what 2FA does, right? Now, other items, like say remote desktop, right? If you can give AI the parameters for someone's remote computer that's exposed to the internet, more than likely that AI is going to get in really easily, because you don't have things set up in a secure manner. You have a computer that's unprotected from the firewall, right? So you've put your computer outside of the firewall for remotely logging in, and that is a major security risk. And something like that is, it's not so difficult for a human to do with tools. And now with AI and how good it's getting, you're going to be able to, like I said, put a couple parameters into a tool and just let it ride. So when people tell me, oh, I'm only a small business owner, why would anybody want my data? Well, guess what? Let's say a hacker uses AI, and then the hacker starts snooping around the network, and then the hacker steals, let's go with the small number, 1,000 customers, their phone numbers, addresses, email addresses, okay? That's it. No social security, no debit cards, no credit cards, none of that extra, sensitive stuff. Just on a base level, just the personal information, right? Let's say this hacker now gives all this data and dumps it on AI. And now with a click of a button, that AI is going to do, the task that I explained earlier on 1,000 accounts. Right? So it's going to check 1,000 emails that they can be hacked easily. It's going to maybe spam 1,000 phone numbers. Right? It's going to maybe look at 1,000 addresses and then look further into the individual and try and look for answers to security questions. Right? So these are the items that I think about as a cybersecurity specialist. And I want to make sure that especially business owners are ready for it. And I'm really trying to educate businesses on seeing the value of cybersecurity and using AI, and how it really can improve and simplify and better your business for a brighter future. Well, that's enough of my rant for today. If you like or don't like or have a question, shoot me a message, or leave a comment. I think this is a really fun discussion, and I would love to discuss it with you. Once again, my name is Noah Yagubian. I own NYPC IT, and I am a managed service provider. You have a wonderful day.